Well, thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I'm the CEO and founder of Canine for Veterans. We're also here with Jillian Jans and Candice
Jacobson.
We're here tonight to talk about the Forgotten Warrior Memorial, which is located out in Channahon Park. To give you a little history about why we felt it necessary to get this memorial out there is that we, as Canine for Veterans, provide service dogs to veterans that have PTSD. We provide them the service dog, we provide free food, free medical for the life of the dog. But we started to think about, what about the guys that come home with PTSD that lost the battle? You know, what do we do to honor them? So we start checking around to look and see what was out there for them. And there was really nothing. There's some small, portable memorials that they have to honor our veterans who lost the battle, but nothing of the size and magnitude that we're building in Channahon State Park. We just felt that it was something that we needed to do to help get them the recognition that they deserve for the sacrifices that they made, and also to help give the families some closure for the losses that they suffered. So we decided at that point that we wanted to do and build a memorial for them to honor them. And so 2.5, 3 years ago is when this project started, and it's actually being completed on Saturday with the official dedication. Yeah, a long time coming. The dedication is going to be a great ceremony. And again, it's to honor our veterans who lost that battle to PTSD. So I've got Jillian Jans here with me. She's the wife of John Jans, which is one of our executive directors. Jill, what does it mean to the wife of a veteran who has PTSD to finally recognize that, you know, there's something out there?
The veteran suicide rate isn't just a number. It's
No.
something that truly and completely affects every veteran that I know, every spouse of a veteran that I know, every family of veterans, every people that have been touched by a person who has spent time in the military. Because you know somebody who has lost somebody to that fight, and unfortunately it's not something that is able to be understood on the civilian end in a way that we could really and truly understand the gravity, but at least the wall that is being put up is giving a solid tribute to the sacrifice and the gratitude of what they gave.
Right.
So it's very comforting and reassuring to know that. It was only a few nights ago that my husband was talking somebody down from one of those things that could have put him on the wall. And it's something that is very real and very, yeah.
I think one of the main things I hope this wall does is start a dialogue with people about PTSD. PTSD awareness is something that really needs to be opened up and talked about. I think it's a totally misunderstood diagnosis of something that our veterans are going through. I think we need to start this conversation.
I would also add to that for as much traction as PTSD has, suicides and the veteran suicide epidemic is not remotely even where PTSD is.
Right.
And it's going to give something to that because, I mean, what was it last week that two veterans Three killed themselves at VAs. Like this
Walked
is
into the VA.
That was the one in Florida,
and
wasn't
to
it?
make a statement
Yep.
of the help, and it's a profound statement.
And then there was the chief too that killed himself in the parking lot that
Right.
had his full
Right.
uniform on. I mean, this is the kind
Left
of
a
stuff
note.
that these men and women would not do if it was not a last.
I mean, what a sacrifice they made to draw attention to what they're not getting, the help that they're not getting.
And the people that they have turned into because they didn't get the help that they should have, and the
Right.
people that they were because of the sacrifice that they gave for us. And we should be paying so much attention to it, and it should churn every American stomach in the deepest part to know that the people who are out there sacrificing their lives for us, that come home, that are making it back to our country safe and sound, are actually not safe and sound.
How do we allow 22 veterans, Candice, you could probably answer this too. I mean, how do we allow 22 veterans a day to commit suicide? You know what there's a problem. There is a horrible problem that we allow 22 veterans a day to commit suicide. How does that happen? How do we allow that?
There's no explanation for it. I mean, the government has no clue what they're doing, basically.
They keep trying to say that they're going to set up these programs and
Right.
these task forces, but what are they really going to do? Are they people who have been in the military? Are they people who understand what these specific
right.
type of suicides
Exactly,
are?
and they're not, and they don't. And then they put them on wait lists. And somebody's suffering from PTSD to go in and say, for them to say, oh, well, sorry, you're on a wait list. I mean,
Right.
that crushes them. They don't have time for that. They need help right now.
I got a call yesterday from a lady who said she was looking for some information about the memorial. She said that her brother, year and a half ago, committed suicide because of his PTSD. And she was so grateful that finally there was something out there to
Acknowledge
recognize the sacrifice that her brother made for our country. And now she has a place to go and visit and find some kind of peace that it's finally acknowledged that he didn't die just for no reason.
Right.
There was a reason why he went through all he went through and took his life.
It's like a limbo that they're in between the people
Terrible.
who are killed in combat and then the people who are coming home and living a life and then passing on in their due time. It's this limbo that is not acknowledged or seen or
Right.
made into the thing that it needs to be and should be because it's not just. It's not the thing that it should be because it's not fair. It's not what you owe these people who have done so much for us and
They
asked
put
so
their lives
little.
on hold. They're family.
Right.
They go and serve our country. They ask nothing in return. And they go out and they do what they do for our country. And they come back and there's really nothing for them when they come back.
No, it's that old thing. It's, just like the ones higher up. Suck it up and get over it. Suck it up and
Well, it's
get
like,
over it.
thank you
And
for
on
your
top-
service.
and on
And that's
top of
not
it-
it.
Yeah.
And too bad.
On
Go
top
home.
of it, it's hoops and hoops and hoops and hoops to jump through in a broken system. You have to get out of the military, but then you have to switch over from the DoD to the VA. And with those two things, I can tell you personally, having gotten John through different parts of it, it is daunting and just
It's a full-time job.
it absolutely is. I mean, for example, this past week I've been in the VA 3 times alone to get one prescription of medication that they were.
We talked yesterday.
Yeah, I finally went today and
Wow.
got the rest of it filled. I've been in the
You know,
VA every day this week.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's incompetence at its
They
We keep
finest.
shouldn't
talking
have
about
to fight that
overhauling
much.
the VA. But let's get back on track about the dedication.
My
I'm sorry.
point is that I wouldn't have a husband if it wasn't for the fact that I got on board, advocated,
Well, you're his
and made
caregiver.
right. But I didn't have to be. Like I
Right.
decided that I couldn't handle him not being taken care of, and he's not going to advocate
Right.
for himself because he doesn't
No.
think that he deserves it. He sees somebody else who is who's paraplegic or who is a different kind of
More
injury, and he
worthy
thinks
than-
that that person is more worthy. Just because
Yeah.
somebody is injured doesn't mean the other person is any less injured. An injury is an injury, and help is help. You just need it, and it's not there when they need it, and that's just a
It's
sad
that
thing.
invisible wounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody
The
knows.
walking wounded.
It's a shame. It's an old cliche. It's a when they come home with a wound you can't see. Somebody looks at them. Oh, there's nothing wrong with them.
Right.
They're okay.
You know I live
But
with that.
Yeah, it's that internal slippery slope that
Right.
they live
People
with
don't
every
see
day.
the nightmares. They don't see
Exactly.
the
They don't
things that
see
they
this-
go through.
And there was a thing about secondary PTSD,
Yes.
and that is proven to be a fact
I suffer from
Yes.
secondary PTSD from
because of living with John with his PTSD.
right.
And many wives do.
It's a common thing that happens when you're trying to prevent the person that you love from going through
Right.
any sort of extra turmoil or anxiety if
Sure.
you can at all costs. And it's, for example, loud noises. Now, John will hit the deck, or at the very least, he'll jump like that.
Right.
When I hear loud noises now, I'm internally and every part of me just freezes up because I am thinking about where he is and what
Are you
he's
waiting
doing
for
and how
him to
he's.
respond?
I need to know where he is and how he's reacted to it because
Right.
then, depending on who's around him, is gonna.
Sure.
It's all a tumbleweed then from there. But in the meantime, when there's not him around, I still do it.
Right.
And then there's not a real cause behind it. He at least had a tour in Iraq that gave loud noises a deadly reason to be ducking down for, right? So I don't have that reason, and I have the reaction anyway. So it's crazy and how just mind-blowing it is. But the thing is I also don't have the kind of just stamina and willpower that he does, and I can't even imagine what the world would be like.
John's a strong guy. He really is.
I can't imagine what the world would be like without him, and at the same time, I am so glad and so sorry for the people who have lost their loved ones to this tragic thing.
And that's the reason why this memorial to K-9 and to the public, I hope, is so important. I mean, it's just something that we really need to get out there to show our appreciation for the ones who lost that battle.
We had John's cousin, it was in the Army, and he committed suicide a few years ago. And we went to his funeral, and then I want to say it was a year to the day after his sister committed suicide. She was a neurosurgeon, and she couldn't live without him, and so it was a dual thing, and one was military, one wasn't, but at the same time, it was a thing that happened, and he gave, I remember, his aunt a challenge coin that was from a Gold Star mom that he had gotten, and it meant the world to her. And it was just something that put her in the same realm as the Gold Star people who are those who have lost loved ones in service.
A loss is a loss is a loss.
Exactly, but they don't get counted like that
they don't.
when it comes to the actual numbers and statistics. So this is a way to make it as valid, and I'm glad that I'm part of something that is doing that.
It's something that needed to be done a long time ago, and it's a shame we even have to have a memorial like this for our veterans. You know, I wish we didn't even need this. But let's get back to the dedication. It's this Saturday. We're going to start out at Chi-Town Harley in Tinley Park with a motorcycle run. It'll be starting at Chi-Town Harley lineup will start at 9, kickstands up at 11. From there, we're going to ride out to the memorial, where we're going to have a full-blown dedication. And
where's the memorial at specifically?
It's in Channahon State Park. Okay. The address is, and I wrote it down, 2532 Story Street in Channahon. It's in Channahon State Park.
So from the Tinley Harley.
We're going to ride out by motorcycle. It's going to be an escorted run. It'll be an escorted run by the state police.
Now, if I don't have a motorcycle and I want to just go to Channahon, what time should we be there?
You should be at Channahon. I'd say get there by 12 o'clock if you want to get a good seat.
Okay.
We're expecting a really large turnout.
Will there be seats? And should we bring seats?
We have enough seating for 250 people.
Great.
We have a stage. And Candice, why don't you tell us about how the memorial is going to start?
Well, we're going to set up with the stage, get that all set up. We'll have all of the different speakers and everything coming in. You have a list of them.
Yeah, we've got Senator Michael Hastings.
Great guy.
We have a chaplain from the U.S. Army coming in.
Yes,
fantastic.
He's Senator Hastings has been an advocate of K-9
and veterans in general
since we started, and veterans in general, definitely. He's championed a number of bills through the House.
He was in the Army too, wasn't he?
Yes, he's definitely.
And Scott is doing the speaking, right, announcing everybody to come up.
Yeah, Scott Slocum, who is going to be the MC, will be announcing the guests. We're going to have some Gold Star mothers there.
Oh, fantastic.
We're going to have some mothers who actually regretfully lost a son or daughter because of their PTSD and committed suicide. It's just going to be an amazing event. We're going to unveil the memorial. The unveiling is going to be done by our veterans that we provide service dogs to. And then after the memorial, we're going to all go to Heroes West Sports Bar and Grill in Joliet for the after party. And Gallagher, who you all know has been on our show, you've seen him on our Facebook page, he's going to be there to entertain us, sign autographs, take pictures with. And I just want to thank Gallagher for taking the time. He's flew out from California at his own expense to perform
do it.
at our event to help raise money for this event. And I just want to thank him for doing that. He's a very patriotic.
Definitely.
He can even do the national anthem all in Spanish. We learned that after last time.
Yeah.
And we
It was a
also
great-
have the 7-ton,
Yes.
the Marines are bringing out the 7-ton vehicle for us, and the
fantastic.
U.S. Army is also bringing a 5-ton out.
Right.
So we'll have
It's
both
gonna
of
be
them.
it's gonna be a great event. It's gonna be very very heartwarming to see. I guess the memorial.
The turnout and the
Exactly. It's something that we
Right.
worked so hard. We had so many volunteers that stepped up to the plate. Candice's organization, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your? She actually really helped us a lot with this.
I'm the president of Forgotten Sons Homeless Veterans Charity. We're a charity that was started almost 3 years ago. What we do is try to get homeless veterans off the street. We help them with their PTSD, help them send them off to a drug and alcohol treatment if they need it, as well as helping to find them jobs. We have a few companies that are willing to hire the veterans, and we're still looking for more. Within the next, hopefully, month here, we will have a few open spaces for a couple of veterans.
Why don't you tell how
So
they can
we're
find you
going
on
to start that.
your website, your Facebook?
We're on ForgottenSonsCharity.com, as well as Forgotten Sons Homeless Veterans Charity on Facebook. So you can
Look
check us
them up.
out on
It's
there.
a
Do you guys
great
work with Rosecrans
organization.
at all?
No. It's one of the places that once we're going a little bit more,
Gotcha.
we want to.
I
Yeah,
can
because
believe.
I love that place. That place is beautiful.
Yeah,
The lands are huge.
We were just talking
Yeah.
that there's 25, and I'm going to repeat the number,
100.
2,500 homeless veterans in the United States. I guess I have to ask myself, how does that happen? How do we allow 2,500 of our veterans who went, served their country, put their life on hold, come home, and because of their PTSD or whatever reason, that they're homeless? How do we do that?
Because they're so tired of trying to work through all these systems
system
too.
is-
They don't even then
Yeah,
think
the
to
system.
reach out
It's
to
just
the
full of
organizations that
red
can help
tape.
them.
I mean, it bogs
Right.
them down. You get,
Right.
it wears you down. They tire
Exactly.
you
It does.
out.
They want you
really
to.
do.
They want you to not get to the point where you are able to get any sort of any sort of disability payment, any sort of anything, because they don't
No.
want to be able to. They don't want to have to compensate you for what you're, in all honesty, worth being compensated for, because it's not something that they think is necessary, because they don't understand it.
I know.
Right.
I had a veteran on our show, and he was about to be homeless, or he was about to lose his home. And so he called the VA and he said, look, I've got 30 days here, and then I'm going to be homeless out on the street. Can you help me find a place so I don't have to be homeless? I could just go from here to a place that you help me find.
Right.
They said, you know what? It just doesn't work that way. He said, well, what do you
You have
mean?
to be
He
homeless.
said, you have to be homeless first before we could put you on a list to find you a place to live. So he said, well, wait a minute. I'm giving you time to help me so I don't have to be homeless. They said, well, that's really not the way it works. You have to be homeless in order for them to find you a home.
Right.
That's ironically
You
enough.
tell me how that makes any sense at all.
Go higher up the
It
chain with the
doesn't.
Blue Water Navy bill, and they want more veterans to be dying and proving that this is a problem in order for them to vote it through.
Exactly,
and
that's what I was just gonna
acknowledge its
say.
existence.
I don't
I
know.
think they
It's-
ignore it because they don't want to admit how many people are suffering from this.
It's
Well,
disgusting
we
and
talked
disheartening.
about with John last time that, our veterans come home and they being treated for PTSD. They're afraid, number one, it's going to hinder their employment opportunities.
Go on their
Having
service
that on their record, it's going to
Yep.
be on their record. It's going to prevent them from getting a carry and conceal FOI card. There's, instead of, you're giving them reasons not to seek help. Okay, if you're going to penalize them
At
by
every turn.
acknowledging that they have PTSD, and you're going to take away their rights,
Or
you're going
blaming
to.
them for the PTSD
Blaming
that they
them.
got while they were
Exactly.
serving our country.
How do we,
Like, it's
again, I don't
ridiculous.
want to sound
That's
like Pete and repeat, but
Right.
how do we let that happen? How do we penalize these guys for coming home with PTSD
How do we
and telling them if you file for this,
if you go get help and seek treatment,
Yeah,
then
you're gonna be penalized.
there's going to be consequences. We're not going to acknowledge all of them until they're already happening, and you're
Right.
kind of SOL.
Right.
But
That's the part I just don't
oops.
get.
You get knocked out.
It doesn't affect us,
Kicked out of the
so-
military, you know, like you said, lose your concealed carry, can't have
It's-
a gun, your FOID
Well,
card.
that's
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean, it
laws
doesn't-
that
it's
changed
just
this
a-
year that we were talking about in the beginning
Yeah.
of the year, with them not being able to even apply for a FOID
Right.
card anymore if they.
Or they can come in,
just-
if somebody says you're a threat, they can come in and take your
Yep.
FOID, your firearm.
And you know, all they
then
have
you
to
gotta go
hear-
to court and prove that you're not a danger.
All you have to
Exactly.
hear is veteran, and the switch just flips in some people, and it's
You
just
know,
like, oh, well,
it's
they're
that
obviously
stigma
unstable.
that's attached with PTSD and veteran. It just goes hand in hand. People just don't
And
get it, that it's
it's-
nothing that you need to be afraid of. It's
Right.
It's,
Right.
It's terrible to be on the side that I know that I'm personally on, because I'm seeing it as it's happening, and it's
Right.
not to me, but it's at the same time something that I don't understand why other people can't understand, and it's this
Right.
in between.
well, you deal with it every day, Joe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do, and you see it with your veterans that you try to help,
Exactly.
you know, find a home for. We see it every day with our veterans that come to us for a service dog. You know, I mean, a lot of them say, you know what, I would really like a service dog, but do I really want to walk around with a dog with a vest that says PTSD, service dog? It's like advertising, hey, look, I'm broken.
Yeah.
You know, and no, you need the help. And acknowledging that you need the help is the first step in getting help.
Right.
What was it? Eleanor Roosevelt said that people can only make you feel as bad as you're willing to let
To make
them.
yourself. Yeah, I
And
agree.
that's got to be part of this in the veterans themselves kind of thing. Is I know John personally is not afraid of any part of his story anymore and telling it and sharing it, because
Yeah.
They
it's
shouldn't be. None of them should be.
It's,
No.
it's something
None of them should be.
that I've stood with him while he's told people that, you know, we've gone and shared things that you wouldn't really typically hear, because how else are we going to get past this? And I can't do the grand scheme of things, which is fix the VA or make
Right.
22 down.
They've been trying to fix
or
the VA
whatever.
for years.
Exactly.
Right.
There's
And it's
nothing.
not-
There's
it's
nothing
still
gigantic
still
that I
not
can do.
fixed.
I don't have great ideas that will change the world, but I do have a husband who is suffering from it, and I can lead by example, and so can he. And we do our very best
You know,
to do so.
Fortunately, there's organizations out there today that are doing what they do to help our veterans, despite what the VA is not doing.
There's so
There's
many
more
organizations.
organizations out there trying to help our veterans than ever before. It's
Right.
they're doing stuff that the VA should be doing and not.
The Caregiver Resource Handbook, if anybody looks that up online, it comes out yearly. It's a book about this big and it has every sort of resource, and it's
Right.
different categories and all of that
heard
kind of
about that
stuff. And it's verified by the caregivers of military veterans, and it's something that I don't know what I would do without. And even honestly, I haven't tapped into all of its possibilities.
I'll give you an example. Triton Community College on June 6th is holding a what they call deployment to employment. It's for veterans. It's to help them find jobs. There's just a list of things they're doing. It's in River Grove, and it's an awesome opportunity for these guys to go out there. It's an
From
employment boot
deployment
camp.
to employment.
Yeah,
Clever. That's great.
it's so much help for these guys.
Like a
Give an
hard
example, they
target.
have how to create a LinkedIn account, speed interviewing, luncheon photos, and motivational speaking by an American Legion. They've got just all kinds of opportunities to help our veterans. But here's an organization like Triton College that's stepping up to the plate to help our veterans when they return to find the employment that they need to get back into society. So if you know someone interested in this organization, and again, it's Triton Community College.
Where's-
They're out of River Grove, and I'm going to give you a phone number for those who are interested. The phone number is 708-456-0300, and it's extension 3619. And this is such an awesome program because, like I said, they've got employers coming to interview these veterans that are returning home. Some of them are Avis budget, Brookfield Zoo, Chicago Department of Aviation, Chicago Police Department, Cook County Mental Health, Department of Veteran Affairs is gonna be out there also.
Brookfield Zoo's really good for veterans, like, or has been really good to veterans.
Yeah,
I know
that's
that.
good.
So again, if you have the opportunity, June 6th and May 28th is an employment boot camp. June 6th is the deployment to employment. And again, you know, this is an organization that's out there trying to help our veterans do what they need to do. And again, that phone number is 708-456-0300, extension 3619. Don't miss that. I was just told that we have a few minutes left. So anyway, we'd like everybody to come out to the Channahon State Park located in Channahon, Illinois.
On Saturday.
On Saturday. It starts at 1 o'clock. If you ride a motorcycle and you're interested in doing the escorted bike run, it's going to be starting at Chi-Town Harley in Tinley Park. I believe it's 191st and LaGrange Road. It's going to be a great run. We're going to run out to the memorial. We're going to do the dedication. And then you're going to get the opportunity to come and meet Gallagher. You're going to be able to watch him perform. You're going to take some pictures with him. I mean, I remember Gallagher from
few
the
weeks
guy
ago.
still.
I grew up watching
Yeah,
him. So.
Gallagher is still a great guy, and if you watched our show, he was an awesome guest.
So to summarize, the day will start off at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
At Chi-Town
Right.
Harley.
and then at 10 a.m. is
11.
11.
11 a.m. is
Kickstands
kickstands
up at
off.
11.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you have from 9 to 11 to get there. Go from the Chi-Town Harley to Channahon State Park,
Escorted police run,
and recommending get there at 12, but it will
Right.
be starting at 1
1
when
o'clock.
Correct.
The official
Stop.
dedication.
When
official
everybody
dedication
starts
and
speaking.
unveiling. And then approximately when will we be heading to?
2:30. We're anticipating an hour,
soft
hour and a half.
2:30.
Soft 2:30.
Yeah.
Very good. Soft 2:30.
Lots of speakers.
Yeah,
I live by the soft.
2:30. We'll be heading out to the Heroes West Sports Bar in Joliet. We're going to have raffle prizes. We're going to have gift baskets. We're going to have a 50-50 drawing.
We're gonna have good people.
And great
Yes,
food.
and good
Great
food.
food,
Yep.
great people. Come out, support
And a great
this.
cause.
Yeah, come out and support the Forgotten Warrior Memorial. It's something that has been needed for a long time. So, again, I want to thank our guest, Jillian.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Candice,
I love it.
And we'll look forward to seeing you on the first Thursday of next month. Thank you.